Hey everybody, it's Dana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making a cute and fun holiday card. I'm going to be using this Freezy Fellows stamp set from Paper Smooches. I absolutely love these little snowmen. So I already have a piece of cardstock already cut out, and I already have my stamp on a nice acrylic block. Now I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink to go ahead and get my card started. So I like to press down pretty well with my ink so I can get a good impression the first time. And this is just a scrap piece of paper because I'm going to be die cutting this little fellow out. So I'm going to press down very well because I'm not used to using my Misty today. Make sure I get a great image. Voila! We are all done. Isn't he really, really cute? Next I'm going to stamp his tiny little arms, just in case I feel like maybe adding another arm on or popping him up a little bit more than what I think I might do. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp those little twig arms out. Again, you know, I can use them now, and if I don't use them, then I can just put them in my little bowl and I can use them for a different occasion. I do keep a little bowl on my desk of images I've already cut out and are waiting to go on cards. Now I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I'm going to be doing some quick Copic coloring. I'm going to start with T0 and T2. And that's because even though images are white, they still have a little bit of color to them. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a tad bit. Make sure that gets in focus. And even when we have something white, it still reflects off a little bit of color. So I'm just going to put a little bit of gray down. Now you can use blue. You can use, I'm using a T. Which is like tonal grays, but you can use warm grays, you can use the cool grays, as long as you have just a hint of a color, because white is really a reflective color. So it's normally not really flat. So I just like to add a tad bit of shading onto anything that I have white on my card, especially if it's images that I'm going to be coloring. See, just a tad bit, not a lot of color on that. So next I'm going to go ahead and use some reds. I'm going to do R24, R29, and R46. I really love this red combination. The 42 is almost like a reddy pink, and then once I get all the way down to the R46, it really gives me a great shadow. So next I'm going to just add in where my shadows would be. I'm going to use that R29, and then I'm going to come back in with the R46 and then blend myself all the way back out. The R29 and lastly the R24. So it gives me a nice deep shade of red right in that corner. All right, now for the next thing, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I forgot right underneath his hat. Totally forgot about that. All right, now since that's done, I think I want to paper piece his scarf. So I'm just going to grab a piece of paper I just have sitting on my desk. I really like this blue color, and it really works with red. I love red. And turquoise or blue together. It's a perfect combination. I'm going to, like I said, just do just the part where his scarf is going to be. I don't have to stamp that whole image all over again. I just really need that little section right there. So again, I'm going to use some of my tuxedo black ink, my Memento. See, I just have a little bit, just where the scarf is going to be. I'll have his hand and everything too, but it's okay because we're just going to be fussy cutting around that. And I really like the paper piece because it gives your stamp or your image a really cute, fun pattern that you don't really have to draw in yourself. All right, so I went ahead and I cut out the pieces off camera. Otherwise, we would have been here forever. And now I'm just going to grab some glue and place that onto my colored image. Now, even though I haven't cut this out yet with my die cuts, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to also add a little bit of black around the edges, because sometimes when you cut on the line, you might lose that strong black edge. So I just grabbed one of my Spectrum Noir markers, and I'm just adding back in that black line. Nothing fancy. And I'm also going to do it on this really tiny piece. When I was cutting, I accidentally ended up cutting through, so I have two pieces for my scarf, which actually is going to work out a little bit better. So I'm going to grab some glue, and I usually just use my Martha Stewart glue for paper piercing or really anything. It's the glue that always stays on my desk. So I'm just going to use my tweezers because this is going to help me lay down those pieces without me getting glue everywhere. And that is another craft essential that I keep on my desk is my tweezers. I have an entire like little cup carousel on my desk that has everything that is my grab to bucket. Everything I need and I need right away stays on my stamp desk, so I can just grab it and then put it aside, because if I end up putting it up, I'm going to be searching forever trying to find it again. Alright, so I'm just going to tilt my snowman sideways so I can make sure I'm getting him lined up, and I'm going to just grab the tips of the tweezers and place everything down in place. Pretty cool. I love it. I love that blue and red together. Next, I'm going to color up his nose. I'm just going to use Spectrum Noir, and that's OR1 and OR2. I didn't have my Copic markers in my stamp room with me, so I just had to use my Spectrum Noir markers. So I'm just going to use the darker orange just for a little bit of shading on his nose, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend it back out. Not a lot of coloring on this one. It's going to be a really quick card to put together. So now I need to do the trim on his hat, and you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and paper piece that as well. So the scarf and the band around his hat are going to match. And that's another great thing about paper piecing. I don't have to worry about having everything to be so matchy-matchy with my Copic markers or any other medium. If you just paper piece with the same pieces of paper or the same pattern pack, it's super easy to put a card together. So I'm going to quickly fussy cut this for you guys. Since it's not the scarf and it's just a tiny piece, I just decided to just go ahead and do it on camera. So I'm cutting a little bit inside the black line because the black line is still going to be there from my stamped image. So it's a really tiny piece. Again, I'm just going to go ahead and grab my tweezers just to hold that in place so I do not get glue everywhere. And we'll go ahead and put the band down. I don't paper piece a lot, but when I do, I absolutely love it. So I don't know why I don't use it more often. I'm just going to line that up, get it placed down, and then I can always go back in with the tip of my tweezers to get everything laid back in place. All right, that looks fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and cut him out now. So adorable. Oh, and I need to cut the arms as well. But before I do that, I'm going to grab a square that I already have down, and I'm going to put like a little snow hill there. I cut this down. I believe this is what my favorite things, cross-stitched rectangle. So I already have this piece of paper cut out, and this is where I want my snowman to go, right on top of the hill, but I need a background for him. I don't want to leave it white. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and airbrush my sky on there. So I'm just going to grab some adhesive, and this is just to glue down that bottom part so that when I go ahead and airbrush, I don't end up messing anything up, or actually having the color rather come down too far, because that's where I want my snow hill to kind of go. Alright, so now that can be my snow hill, and then that's where my little snowman's going to sit. Alright, I'm going to cover this up because I really want to use this piece of paper again since I already had it cut out. So I changed my mind, and I'm just going to go ahead and sponge in my background just with some distress ink, but let me grab my mat so I don't get it all over my cutting mat. So I'm just going to speed this up, and this is just really easy, simple technique. I'm just sponging on some color, and I believe this one here was tumbled glass. So I'm just going to rub that on. I'm not trying to be too perfect because for some reason, sponging in the background, I'm a little bit challenged, but it's okay because sometimes it could look like clouds in the background, right? So I'm going to use Broken China as my next color, and this is just a little bit darker of a blue. I like to put it around the ends and then maybe drag it down just a little bit so my sky has some dimension to it and it's not like just one flat color. So I'm just going to put in a little bit more, and I like it. Fantastic. All right, that's looking good. So our card is almost complete. Now this is when I realized I totally picked up the wrong adhesive. I ended up picking up permanent adhesive and not temporary adhesive. But I was able to gently pull that off and get that piece of paper off, and I still have my snow mound. So now I'm going to use one of the sentiments. It says it's a wicked cool dude. Oh, I think this is just the cutest little snowman, and I know exactly who he's going to. And then I'm going to see what his other arm looks like there. I think we're going to be okay. Maybe I'll put it on the other side. I am actually going to use VersaFine on here. I was thinking about embossing it, and then I just totally went against it. So you are wicked cool. Absolutely love how quick this card is coming together. Next, I'm just going to grab some foam tape, and I'm going to pop my little snowman up. And I love using foam tape. I love having that little bit of dimension on cards. So there we go. He is looking pretty good on his snow mound. And I am going to add that one little arm off to the side. So I'm going to grab my glue and actually just put a little bit on top of it. And then grab my tweezers. If I can get a hold of them. Let me twist this around so I can kind of get it in there. I just want to tuck it right underneath. And then I can push down to make sure it adheres all together. Alrighty, super cute. So he is all done. And now we're going to go ahead and put our card together. So I always use white card bases. You guys see me using that all the time. But I think I want something on the background. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the polka dot pattern that I have in his, the band on his hat and also his little scarf. So I'm just going to bring a little bit of that red on. And it matches the top of his hat too. So, and I love double-sided paper because it's just so fun. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and place that down, kind of get it pretty centered. And now I can bring back in my cute little snowman. He's adorable, absolutely adorable. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this panel up as well, just to add a little bit more dimension to my card. Just going to peel that and stick one piece right in the middle so I don't have like my middle like sagging. I'm going to make sure it's all kind of uniform. I could have used a piece of foam on this, fun foam, but I decided just to go ahead and grab my my foam tape. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm going to add just a tad bit of Wink of Stella. I want to add just a little bit of shimmer to the snow, just a tad bit, not too sparkly, but we got to have a little bit of sparkle, right? Can you see that? A little bit more in that corner, and then I'm gonna make his hat have just a tad bit of color, a little bit of bling bling here and there. All right, and there it is, a super cute, fun Christmas card. Voila, super easy to put together, right? All right, that wraps up the card for today. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. If you liked what you saw, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow me on all of my social media links right here on this chart. I will see you guys soon. Go forth and be crafty.